Today we're going to talk about attitudes towards the government. I guess your mind is probably racing. You're like, wait a minute, is Peachy switching up on us? No, not at all. I just want to talk about a certain group of people who blame the government for every single little misfortune they have in their life. And I'm sure that you know of at least one person every time there's a conversation, it's the government's fault. Ask yourself these questions. When you are around certain people who complain about the government all the time, don't have anything negative to say, is that person receiving any type of government assistance, whether it be SSI, SSDI, any type of welfare, any type of disability? Are they receiving a government check every month? My guess, the majority of them are. And that check probably isn't enough for them to get by. So what they're doing is rationalizing in their mind and figuring, you know what, this isn't enough money, so I'm going to blame the government because I'm not able to get what I want. Also, ask yourself if these people are registered voters. I've run into quite a few in the past where they've complained about the government, receive a check every single month, but they are not registered voters. Okay. I look at it like this. If everything is the government's fault, then return the government check. That's just the way I look at it. Now, that's an opinion of mine. But have you noticed that every time you have a conversation, let's say you're at a gathering, every time you have a conversation, no matter what it is going on in society, this person chimes in about how it's the government's fault. We could be talking about the heat wave that we're having right now. This person will chime in and say, well, the government did so-and-so with the so-and-so and the climate change and the satellite programs and the government. You know, if they hadn't have done this and they hadn't have done that, we wouldn't have the heat wave. You could be at another function and then you're talking about, let's say, taking trips. Let's say everybody's talking about what trip they're going to take. Well, this person will talk about, well, you know, it's the government's fault why the airfares are so high and you know, they don't have enough TSA agents in the airport, so that's the government's fault. Here's another common one people talk about. Overcrowding of prisons. Okay, overcrowding of prisons is an issue. I will not deny that. But these people take it a bit further. Let's say you have someone who's a habitual offender. Never seek help for their problem or anything. They cannot stay out of jail more than 6 months to a year before they wind up right back in. Now, those few times that they did get out, instead of trying to become a productive citizen, they go right back to doing whatever illegal behaviors that got them locked up in the first place. Now, you talk to some of the people who are involved that are close to this person, the first thing they'll say is, well, you know, they're in and out of jail and everything, but see, if the government had given him some kind of program when he was in there the last time or given him enough resources when he got out, he wouldn't have been able to do anything. Not giving him any responsibility whatsoever is the government's fault. Okay, how about this? Keep your butt out of jail. Educate yourself when you're in jail. How about you go ahead and seek help if it's a psychological problem? There are free resources in the communities. You could do that. But no, you want to blame the government. Okay. Another scenario about how it's the government's fault. This is a good one. Somebody not receiving enough food stamps to take care of 6 kids. Okay. After you had the first one, you didn't have any money. Then you turn around and got a second one. Didn't have any money after that. Then you turn around and got a third one. Didn't have any money after that. Your living situation didn't change. It went all the way up to 6. You complain that the food stamps that come in every single month is not enough for your 6 kids. The government didn't lay up on the table and have 6 kids. You did. Now, am I putting down people who have big families? No, not at all. I think big families are wonderful. But people have to understand it costs money to raise children. And some people will purposefully have big families so they can continue to receive the government handouts. I know a lot of people are going to get upset behind that, but as the truth is the truth, I've heard the conversations, and I went to the hearings with some of the people that I dealt with before. I've heard it. That is their income. The kids are the money. And it's a sad thing, but it's happening every single day. But these people still complain that they don't have enough. All I get is so and so a month because I had, well, you know what? The government didn't tell you to have those children. Children shouldn't have to be brought in the world as a means for you to make money so you won't go to work. That's not the way it works. This whole thing, that whole dynamic is just messed up. It is. I mean, I can understand one or two, that's fine. But at some point between child number 2 and child number 6, you haven't made any effort to level up at all. Zero effort? No. I'm not going to feel sorry for you. But it's the government's fault, though. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying the government is perfect because they have a lot of work to do. We've spent many, many years here in the economy dealing with budget deficits, constant inflation, rising cost of living, and salaries that are not comparable to the cost of living. That's been going on for years. In a way, the world situation that occurred last year kind of shed light on the fact that the way we were doing things before was not working in this country. So now we have an administration that's trying to clean up decades of mess in a very short period of time. It's going to take a while. We have to be realistic about that. But also, we have to take some personal accountability as well. The government didn't bring you into this world. The government didn't ask you to go out and commit crimes. The government didn't put a gun to your head and tell you to assault anybody, rob anybody, murder anybody. And the government didn't tell you not to get a job, didn't tell you not to go to school. You have to stay away from people who all they talk about is the government. Like I said, a lot of people who blame things, all the things in their life on the government, they have one or two characteristics or both. One, they're receiving a government check every month. And apparently that check must not be enough or else they wouldn't be complaining. Or number 2, they're not a registered voter. Like I said, one or both. So when you get around these people, there's no talking to them. They're convinced that it's the government's fault for every single thing that went wrong in their lives, and they don't want to take responsibility. And you need to decide whether or not you want to deal with someone who has a mind of an adult, who takes responsibility and acts on it, or the mind of a child who sits there and has tantrums and blames everybody else. It's up to you. On that note, I'll go ahead and leave you guys to it. Have a great day.